Did they anything fun?
Mhm.
They go.
Mhm.
His funeral's in Florida for 2 months.
Who's in Florida? Yeah.
Did you have to tell me where you were? That had nothing to do. I had that narrative about asking.
Tell her it was snowing.
What's that?
Tell her it was snowing.
Yeah, I said, well, yeah, I'm sitting at 2 inches of freezing snow out there, so.
Yeah. The last word from my sister was that it was 85 and she was going to buy some plants. Put out. That sounds good.
Sharon's caring, so. Sharon's caring. All right.
That was
Right.
yesterday's conversation.
I'd like to call the Thursday, February 13th, 2025 meeting of the Culver Town Council to order. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone that this meeting is being recorded and your participation is your consent to be rebroadcast on the Culver YouTube channel. Anyone has any kind of electronic device, if they'd be kind enough to put it on airplane or turn it off, it'd be much appreciated. Roll call, please.
William Clevenger,
Present.
Justin
Present.
Damon Rose absent, Damon Meyer,
Present.
Sally Ricciardi.
Present here.
Will you all please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Neil, welcome. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the January 23rd, 2025 regular meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve. Been moved by Mr. Neer, second. Second by Mr. Ricciardi. All those in favor say, oh, we have to do roll call. I'm sorry. Roll call, please.
Mr. Clevenger.
Aye.
Mr. Croy.
Aye.
Here.
Aye.
Ms. Ricciardi.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next is the item of public concern, utility ordinance violation appeals. Anyone in the room for that? Anyone online? Public dialogue. Anybody in the room for public dialogue? If not, anyone online? Hearing none. Next is tree commission appointments.
We have one that we would like to put in front of the council for approval. It is Mr. Paul Berry. He has contacted us several times, has an active interest out of California, but has a home here and is looking to become more active with the tree commission. And we'd like to put him up for a nomination to fill a position. So I ask for approval.
May I have a motion to approve the,
I'll make a motion to approve.
Mr.
Paul
Ricciardi
Berry.
moves. What's the gentleman's name again? Paul Berry. Mr. Berry. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Neer. Any discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Mr. Clevenger.
Aye.
Mr.
Aye.
Meyer.
Aye.
Ms. Ricciardi.
Aye.
Thank you, council.
Motion passed. Appointment approved. Do we have any new business?
Do we need to accept those conflicts of interest? Oh, okay.
Oh, that's in your report. Okay, good. Department reports. Mike, Emergency Services.
I have nothing.
Thank you, sir. Fire, Terry?
Yeah, I got the last year's fire runs and training. The actual number of calls we had last year was 146, which is up a little bit from the year before, probably about 8 higher than it was the year before. The number of training hours was 702 hours, which is down a little bit because we lost 2 guys. We had 2 less people to put those hours together as a yearly training. If you guys would like a copy of these, I'll make sure you get one in your email, or if you don't, then that's up to you guys. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Wayne?
Last meeting about hiring Neil, our new employee, Neil Wallace.
Hey, Neil.
So,
It's been a while.
Yeah. been
Welcome
years.
aboard. Good to see you.
Thank you, Sean. You're white courtroom today.
Neil has about 29 years experience in law enforcement.
Neil?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
You Well, yeah, look forward to starting with the department in Culver. It's a beautiful town. And it's set on a really nice lake, so I've always liked Lake Mexico there. So, I spent a lot of time on that lake, working on lake patrol, ran that program for like a decade, so. Yeah, looking forward to it. Nice change from the sheriff's department.
See you floating around out there.
Probably. Been a lot of hours on that lake. Thank you.
It's a good way to get a sunburn.
It is, yeah. You gotta be careful with that.
Well, welcome aboard, Neil.
Thank you.
Really, the only other thing I have, I mean, as you know, we had our Winter Fest this past weekend. It was a little slow at first, but picked up somewhat on Saturday evening. Dampened things down with the rain, and everything else. Other than that, that's in my monthly in your box if you didn't already look.
Yeah, thank you, Wayne. Park, is anyone on the line for Park?
Crystal was ill today.
Pardon?
Crystal was ill today. She called in.
Okay.
She won't be.
Utilities, Bob, are you there?
I do have one contract for Bob that he asked me.
All right.
If we want to handle it right now, sir.
Or let's
It's
do
with
it.
our 120 water for the lead survey and the information that they're running for us in terms of gathering the information in town, in terms of what needs to be replaced and giving our statistical data. It's a 1-year contract. It's a renewal for $13,200. And Bob asked me to have that approved tonight. It requires, I'll be asking for the council to approve Bill's signature on this, if you would, please.
What all do they do?
They are essentially, they gathered the statistics in terms of looking at which houses, Sally, were going to be excluded based upon their age. They're giving us, generating the data in terms of what our liability, in terms of what the replacement is, estimated cost, and then I think they're going to be serving, and Bob could speak towards this more directly. I prefer him doing it, and that end on the logistical side, but there are going to be an assistance in terms of the removal if that moves forward with the removal. And he could probably explain that a little bit better than I will.
Okay.
And that contract is for how much?
13,200. And in essence, I could read, purchase terms, but there's really no information inside that's going to help clarify that question. So,
Yeah.
Motion to approve the contract for lead removal. Been moved by Mr. Neer,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Shardy. Roll call, please.
Mr. Clevenger.
Aye.
Mr. Clyde.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Mr. Chardy.
Aye.
thank you, council.
All right, thank you. Your report, sir.
Short and sweet tonight. Took care of the 120. Just an update, some updates for the council in terms of what's coming forward for us in the next couple of meetings. The RFPs are available for you. The legal were sent to you. We decided to put out the peer RFP one more time. Rather than do a 3-year contract, we revised it and we narrowed the scope down to just the spring install this year. That way we have some time to pass through legal. I think the contract needs to be passed through a legal eye, tighten it up and make sure that we have everything in place for 3 years. We've had some communication difficulties. We've been amending the contract since 2016 and it could use a healthy overhaul. Felt like what we had in the RFP was solid, but I think it would be advantageous for the town to pause and get this one right. So we put it back out. We do anticipate in the next week that we'll get the responses and they should be in front of you again for the last meeting. About the same time our legal RFP will be under consideration. So that's coming next meeting. We do want to remind you, Karen and I both, about getting together to discuss water rates and sewer rates. And that might be a topic, exec session, that we can sit down and have a conversation and follow up from the previous session that the council had. So we'd like to be able to entertain that before the end of the month if time allows. I do want to put in front of you, I had a wonderful conversation, email exchange. We have been awarded our IU fellow for our tree moving forward, and I can't be happier. Her name is Rebecca Wells. Miss Wells comes from us with a wonderful pedigree. The CV is impressive. She's done field studies in Africa. She's done food studies. She's been to Kenya, to be specific. Specializes in horticulture, sustainable agriculture, and also has experience and interest in water management. I know that Adam Theta is eager to work with her through Lake Max, and that's something we want to provide. She has a BS, I'm used to BAs, Elon University, which is impressive. And then she's working on a dual MPA degree, food and farming sustainability concentration, as well as environmental management sciences at IU. So we're really looking forward to getting her in, and I have a scheduled phone call with her next week to get moving on that, see where her concerns lie, and maybe how we can help facilitate her experience here.
What town is she from?
Originally, I tell you what, I can tell you everything about her, Dana. Honors and awards, skills, basket weaving. No, kidding. She's got a lot packed in, but what she doesn't tell me, where she went to high school. But you know what, Dana? I'll put that question to her next week, buddy. I'll get you a response. Last thing on my agenda, Mr. President, is I want to thank everybody's efforts, Wayne, everybody at the utilities, and just for committing to Winterfest and trying to help facilitate that. I know the labor of love we are the town of fests, and it takes a lot. I appreciate, and especially Crystal down at the park and everybody else in the visitor center. So just want to acknowledge them and say thank you. And I think that's it for this evening.
Thank you very much,
You're
sir.
welcome.
Karen, your report,
My
please.
report's a little bit longer. The first thing I have are claims over 2,500. The first one is municipal emergency services, and that's for impacts from the fire department at $4,000. The other one is Violent, Humphrey, Clevenger, and Cerisi for $5,425, and that is for legal fees for the fourth quarter, I believe, of 2024.
May I have a motion to approve claims over 2,500?
So moved.
It's been moved by Mr. Shardy,
Second.
second by Mr. Neer. Roll call, please.
Mr. Clevenger.
Aye.
Mr.
Aye.
Mr. Chardy.
Aye.
The second thing I have is, we evaluate the interest rates with Everwise, and they present a contract to me for, a lower interest rate than we've had, as interest rates are kind of
Taking a
coming
dip.
down. Yeah, so, it would decrease from 4.6 to 4%. But I also have Trust Indiana in my back pocket and can move money back and forth, to get a better interest rate if I can do that. Navigate that. So if you would approve that, continuing the business banking with Everwise.
To continue with override.
Yes, please.
All right, the motion to approve. Mr. Neer,
I'll
second
second.
by Mr. Shardy. Roll call, please.
Mr. Clevenger.
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Chardy.
Aye.
As you all know, my favorite is doing roll call. but it's for good reason, so. I have two conflicts of interest statements. One is from Marty Osterbond, who serves as the president of the Culver Redevelopment Commission. While he has no financial interest or contracts or vendors with the CRC, he did serve as a board member at large with One Marshall County, which the CRC has, well, I think it was the town awarded money for strategic planning work. And then, so as president of the Redevelopment Commission, I have an interest in drafting of an economic development plan for Marshall County that will help CRC align its development effort with other towns in the county and region so that a more effective use of dollars can be realized, taking advantage of grant scale and partnerships aligned with our goals. And then the other one is from Sarah Jones, who also serves on the Redevelopment Commission. And she is a co-owner of our Custom Homes, which is a part owner of the townhomes at the Lofts at 415, which is also in the 10th district. So just being forthright with that information.
Right.
If I could have approval to a motion to accept those conflict of interest statements.
I'll make a motion to accept those two conflicts of interest.
Mr. Shardy moves to accept the conflicts of interest. Is there a second? Mr. Neer seconds. Roll call, please. Aye.
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 Resolutions. There's a lot going on in Indianapolis at the State House. There, as I mentioned in my reports, there are about 1,700 bills filed. This session, plus we have a new governor and a lot of new representatives. There's a lot of some good bills and there's some not so good bills, and I'm trying to kind of keep my eye on it as a member of the legislative committee for AIM. One of the big discussions is property tax. And I know from a homeowner standpoint, we would all love to have some relief of property taxes, but also on the other side, on the town municipal side, knowing where those tax dollars are used or what those tax dollars are used for in our services, providing for police, fire, EMS, keeping your roads plowed in the morning, especially on a day like today, knowing that we really work hard not to waste those tax dollars. I did provide, so I just want to get the temperature of the council to see if one of the resolutions that I emailed out last night, if that was something that you would be interested in, if we drafted it to make it more personal to Culver, and consider that at the next council meeting.
Poll the council, Mr. Neer.
Yeah, I think that's a really great idea. Thanks for keeping us informed.
Mr.
I
Shardy.
agree. I've been keeping up with some of the changes, and it's like every day
Yeah.
something moves. It's a moving target.
Mr. Croy.
I agree as well.
I agree also.
Because by the time we get to the next
They
meeting,
may
I
have
guess
it
everything
solved.
may have changed by that time.
Okay.
We have to. But in the meantime, I would encourage you to keep an eye on, hopefully you're getting emails from AIM with legislative updates on a weekly basis. Know that there's a group of people down there that are working very, very, very hard on our behalf. AIM has a podcast that they put out every Friday, and you can just hear in their voices, they're exhausted, but they're fighting. I mean, there's one day that one of the Campbell Ritchie, who is like the financial guru, he testified in 6 different committees in one day and had to keep them straight. So they're working on our behalf. So.
The town manager thread, we had 4 different updates within 3 days, re-summarizing this current situation. So yeah, it's fluid.
Yeah.
And I did go, just a little point of information, I did go to Indianapolis last week and attended the legislative. Governor Braun spoke. He said and it was fine. I listened but he said he spoke to the Indiana Association of City Counties the day before, and he said that there was a sigh of relief at the end of his speech, knowing that the changes that are in the air. We'll see what happens. So the last thing I have on my report I try to do a Board of Finance meeting once a year just to provide you a comprehensive update or like a 30,000 foot view of the finances. Is that something that you would like to do prior to the next meeting, which is on the 27th? Thank you. Which didn't make it on the agenda. Or would you like it as part of the next meeting? I could give it.
That works for you. You see where that.
Yeah, I'm pretty much open.
I'm open. What's best for
So
you?
if we did it like at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
knock it
Yeah.
out and then.
All right, Mr. Croy?
Yeah, right now mine's a little wonky, but I'll stay in touch and work it in the best I can.
Thank you, Justin.
A little busy.
So, and that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. John?
Yeah,
your
the only
report?
thing I have to report is I've been promising to get the zoning ordinance amendments wrapped up for a while now, and I'm getting close. I've finally been able to block out Tuesday through Friday of next week. I have nothing on my calendar. I'm not taking any appointments, and I'm gonna get it done. So probably by the week after next, I should have some drafts too.
Thank you very much. That's good news. Council issues, Mr. Neer.
No issues, just comments. Plowing, shoveling was mentioned. Night of activity was also today. And I thought the meeting last night. Doctors and looking forward to continued conversations on that.
Mr. Shardy.
I really don't have much other than I think they did a great job plowing. I was able to get in and out of my driveway, so they didn't plow me in, which is always a plus.
It is, isn't it? Thank you, Sal.
They're usually good about that.
Mr. Croy?
Not right now.
Thank you. The chair has nothing other than to echo everyone else's comment about the work of the utility department on the streets. Excellent job. Last item on the agenda is a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Shardy moves to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Neer seconds. Roll call, please. Aye.
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 We are adjourned.